Hey guys, this is my guide for one cycle Seiryu with range. I hope this is able to help anyone looking to learn how to one cycle Seiryu with range. And yeah, let's just get into the video. Getting into the gear and inventory setup, you're going to want to be using either full Serenic or full Elite Serenic with just standard best in slot perks. For your pocket slot, you want to use a Grimoire for the critical chance increase and the critical hit cap increase as well. For your cape, either a Kiln Cape, Max Cape, or Comp Cape with at least the Ranging Cape perk on there to increase the chance of your Enchanted Bolts proccing. For your amulet, you want a Essence of Finality with a Dark Bow stored inside it for the Dark Bow spec. For your bolts, you want to have Hydrix and Rubies. And then for your weapons, just some Blightbound crossbows. And then for your gloves, best in slot is Nightmare Gauntlets for Snipe, Fleetings for walking with Rapid Fire, and then your ring slot is either a Asylum Surgeons or Ring of Death, up to you. In the inventory setup, you want to have all your switches, the main ones being the Eldritch Crossbow, the Searing Godbow, and preferably a Masterwork Spear. You can also bring Flanking, Shield Switch, Bladed Dive, Planted Feet, and Ring of Vigor. You'll also want a Ruby Bolt Switch as well. These rune pouches are just for Disruption Shield and Venge, if you want to be using those. Dominion Mines and Dread Nips for the crystals. And then just your Overload Pre-Renewal, Adrenaline Potion. You will need to use a Adrenaline Renewal, not any lesser Adrenaline Potion, otherwise you won't be able to do this rotation. And then just a couple Prayer Potions, Vulnerability Bombs of course, and then a Zamorak Brew if you want to reduce your health for Berserker's Fury. Ideally, you want to have everything inside this preset because it is not easy to get range 1 cycles, and you will need most of the stuff in this preset to complete the rotation that I will be doing. So yeah, we'll get into the kill now. So starting off with the kill, you just want to surge under and use a Death Swiftness under Seiryu so that you can use your Death Swiftness from all around him. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the rotation here, just because the more important thing is the crystals. This does not really affect the one cycle at all, but basically the only important thing to take is that you want to be using your Hydrix bolts that you have a lot of adrenaline, and you want to use a Limitless, not an adrenaline potion for this rotation. You want to also make sure that before you phase him you are close to 100% adrenaline, and once you get him close to phase you want to put your Ruby bolts on, so that you have them ready for when you go on the crystals. Just one less thing to worry about. So here you'll see me switch to rubies. And I'm also full adrenaline. Once you phase, Bladed Dive to the jump spot, switch to crossbows, and jump up. When your character stands up straight, you're able to target cycle at this point. So you want to target cycle, use Corruption Blast, Surge, and place your mines. Then use an ECB spec, Ricochet. Make sure you have Soul Split on, of course. Rapid Fire, and finish Rapid Fire with a Snapshot. At this point, switch your bolts to Hydrix, and then use another Ricochet when it comes off cooldown. Once ECB spec is over, switch to Dual Wields, Corruption, Needle Strike, and then Death Swiftness. You can then use a Snipe and just finish off this first crystal. Flank for the first hit on the second crystal, use a Von Bomb. When you have enough adrenaline, use an ECB spec, and then a Ricochet into a Rapid Fire. When you're satisfied with your adrenaline, switch back to rubies, of course, for that extra damage until the crystals are too low HP. So about 50k, switch back to Hydrix, and then use a Tendrils just to lower your HP for Berserker's Fury. Make sure you don't KO yourself, and then just finish off the middle crystal. Once you get to the last crystal, you want to put your Masterwork Spear on, throw a Von Bomb, and then 2 ticks after the second heal, you want to use a Dismember. Switch to your ECB spec, use Snipe instantly, make sure your Ruby bolts are on. Once Snipe finishes, Ricochet, place your mines, then Rapid Fire, and then closer to the end of your Rapid Fire, activate your Adren Pot, Snapshot, switch back to Hydrix, Dark Bow, Ricochet, Dark Bow, and that is the end of the kill. You want to make sure that with your Rapid Fire, that you do not activate the Adrenaline Potion too late, because otherwise you won't have enough adrenaline for a second Dark Bow, but you also don't want to activate it too early because you don't want to be capping out on 100% adrenaline, and then that adrenaline going to waste, because then of course you will not have enough adrenaline because it's just been wasted when you're hitting 100% adrenaline. Some key things to take note of are that you want to be making sure that you have your ruby bolts equipped when the crystals are high HP, unless of course you need adrenaline, but always remember to switch back to your ruby bolts when you're satisfied with how much adrenaline you have. Once the crystals are about below 50k HP, you want to switch back to your hydrates because the rubies are no longer fully effective. It's very important to keep those bolt switches in mind because they can seriously help out with your kill. You also want to make sure that you are placing your Von Bombs as soon as possible, because any tick wasted without the vulnerability on there is just 10% damage lost on any damage that's dealt during that time. So it is always important to try and get your Von Bombs out as soon as possible. That is going to wrap up my full 1 cycle Seiryu guide with range. Hopefully this was able to help you out if you were looking to learn 1 cycles. And any feedback that you have, please leave it down in the comments. It is greatly appreciated. And yeah, if you guys want to check me out on my stream, that'll be in the description. And also huge thanks to Rocket Cars. His link will also be in the description, as he was helping me out with the rotations for this guide. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys all enjoyed.